Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to today's lesson. Unfortunately, we can't meet today, so we'll do it in a video recording. Okay, please look at the homework that I gave you on Wednesday. Okay, on Wednesday. So I'll ask you to do part 1, question 1. Now you can see that the question is asking for hour and everything is already in hour. So what you have to do is you make the denominator the same. So the smaller number you can change to a bigger number. So 2 you need to times 2 to become 4. So the bottom times 2, the top also times 2. So we get 3 over 4 minus 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. The bottom copy. So 1 over 4 hour. Question B. 0.5 minus 0.45. 0.5 minus 0.45. Now I told you to write 0 for empty space. Okay, if not you will make mistake. Okay, many students you just see that there's nothing here, so I just write 5 here. But you have to put a 0 first. Okay, put a 0 first, and then you minus. Now not enough, you plus 10 minus 1. Okay, it's 10 minus 5, 5. 4 minus 4, 0. 0 minus 0, 0. 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places. So you get 0.05 hour. Okay, 0.05 hour. Okay, question C. 5 over 8 minus 1 over 3. Now all the units are in days. So this one you have to find a common denominator. You can times each other. That means 8 you have to times 3, and then 3 you have to times 8. Bottom times 3, top times 3. Bottom times 8, the top times 8. So 8, 3, 24. 5, 3, 15 minus 3, 8, 24. 1, 8, 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. The bottom is 24. Can we simplify this? I don't think so. So this is 7 over 24 day. Question D. Decimal minus decimal. So 0.25 minus 0.125. Empty space here, write 0 first. Okay, that's the first thing you need to do. Not enough to minus, you borrow 10 minus 1. 10 minus 5, 5, 4 minus 2, 2, 2 minus 1, 1, decimal point, 0. So we get 0.125 day. Question E. 7.75 minus 4.5. 5 minus nothing is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. 7 minus 4 is 3. 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places. So we get 3.25 years. Question F. 1, 2 over 5 minus 1 over 10. Change the denominator first. So 5 you can change to 10 by multiplying 2. Bottom times 2, top times 2. The round numbers just copy. 5 to 10, 2 to 4. The 1 minus nothing is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. The bottom copy. So we get 1, 3 over 10 decades. Okay, question G. 8.11 minus 6.7. Okay, you can put a 0 here. 1 minus nothing is 1. This one not enough. Plus 10 minus 1. 11 minus 7, 4. 7 minus 6, 1. 2 decimal places. So we get 1.41 centuries. Okay, to recap what we learned on Wednesday. Now, firstly, you look at the units. For example, 1 decade equals to 10 years. Okay, so decade you change to years, you need to times 10. Now, if all the units are in decades, then no problem. You don't have to change the unit. You just have to focus on the denominator. If it is a fraction, change them to the same denominator, the bottom numbers. But if they are different, like this one, the question asking for decade and years, then you have to convert them. Now, this one, 6/3/10. So 6 is 6 decades. Now 3/10 we have to change to years. So we times 10 years. Cross 1 0, cross 1 0, 3 times 1 is 3. So 9 decades, 0 year, minus 6 decades, 3 years. This one, borrow 1 decade, you get 10 years. 9 minus 1 is 8. 10 minus 3 is 7. 8 minus 6 is 2. So you get 2 decades, 7 years. If it is all decimal and the units are the same, then you just minus like what I did just now in the exercises. Okay, this one is the easiest. If there are different units, for example, this one question asking for years, then you have to change decade to years first. You times 10, move decimal point 1 time to the right, you get 81 years. So 81 minus 47, you get 34. Okay, this one, question asking for decade and years. So 9.4, okay, you can change to years first. Now, I wouldn't do this because you still have to change back to decade. You see that? So, like I normally teach you, you split them. Okay, let me get my pen. Okay, so I will split it. 9.4 decades, I just split it. So the left side is 9 decades. The right side is 0.4 times 10 years. Okay, move 1 time. We get 9 decades, 4 years. Okay. And then this one, I also split it. 2 is 2 decades. 1.5, I times 10 years to change to years. Divide 2, I get 5. So I get 2 decade, 5 years. Now I minus 9 decade, 4 years, minus 2 decade, 5 years. Okay, this one I borrow 1 decade, I get 14 years. 14 minus 5 is 9, 8 minus 2 is 6. So I get 6 decade, 9 years. You see that? So split them into half is easier. Okay? If you change everything to years, after you minus, you still have to change back. That is one extra step for you. Now this one century, 1 century is 10 decades. So you have to keep this in mind when you do your calculation. So I just show you one example. Okay, this one. Question asking for centuries and decades. So this one is already in the correct unit. This one you have to split them. Okay, so this one is 7 century. 3/5 you times 10 decades. You get 6 decades. So it's 7 centuries, 6 decades. Minus 4 century, 8 decades. Not enough. You borrow 1 century, you get 10 decades. So answer 2 centuries, 8 decades. Okay. The rest, they are almost the same. Let's look at the last one. Century, 1 century is 100 years. Okay, so you have to times 100. Now this one question asking for century and years. So this one is the unit is already correct. You just have to change this one. So 1 century in front, 1 over 4, I times 100 years, divide 4, I get 25 years. So it's 1 century, 25 years. So 2 century, 35 years minus 1 century, 25 years, we get 1 century, 10 years. Okay, so your homework for this weekend, you need to do question 2. Now look at what the question is asking. Okay, be careful of what the question is asking. For example, for 2A, question asking for minutes. So this one 30 minutes, you don't have to change, but this one you have to change to minutes. How do you change to minutes? You times 60 minutes because 1 hour is 60 minutes. For question B, question also asking for minutes. So you have to change 1 hour to minutes. Okay, change to 60 minutes and then plus 40 minutes. And then 0.95 hour, you also have to times 60 minutes to change to minutes. Okay, now look at this one, question D. Question asking for days and hours. So this one is already in hours, so it's fine. Now this one, 1.375. What you do is you split them. So the 1 in front is 1 day. The 0.315 you need to change to hours by multiplying 24 hours. Then you get your hours. Then only you minus 4 hours. Okay? So look at what the question is asking, and then you split them or convert them accordingly. Okay, one more example for you. Last one, G. Question asking for decades. So these 2 centuries you convert to decades, and then you plus 4 decades. Okay. 1 over 5 century, you just change to improper fraction, and then you times 10 decades because 1 century is 10 decades. Okay, so your homework for today, question 2, A until G. Okay, I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.